my head was clouded in social situations. I could not think of any real thing to say, any real opinion, anything coming from the soul, anything that I actually wanted. I could not think of that shit. I could only think of the nice guy NPC answers to say, I would just shake my head and agree with what people were saying. And I would just take bullshit. I would allow other people's opinions to determine who I was and what I thought. I would allow other people's negative criticism to affect me. I gave too much of a fuck what people thought. I was literally afraid of what people would think. I was afraid of people's opinions about my opinions. I was afraid of people thinking negatively about me or any type of strong way about me. I was afraid. I was really acting like a little bitch. I went on this journey to Thailand, and when I was in Bangkok, I was at my rock bottom. I lost tens and thousands of dollars in the stock market. My homie of 10 decades that I went out, not 10 decades, I'm tripping. My homie of a decade, almost a decade, that I went out there with, we went our separate ways. And what really hurt the most was that I realized this guy didn't really give a fuck about me. He wasn't really my friend like that. I was like, damn, bro, I wasted all that time. I was angry really at myself. And the girl that I was fucking with literally told me in my hotel room she thinks we're better off as friends. And that, like, when me and her went our separate ways, that literally crushed me. And why it crushed me is because I was angry at myself, because I was not being myself. I knew that things wasn't gonna work out with her. I knew we weren't compatible. I knew the only thing we had chemistry wise was sex. But I was being a nice guy. I was being a bitch. I wasn't speaking up for myself. I wasn't actually saying and doing what I really wanted to do. And it hurt. I was angry. And I was also depressed. But when I read that James Allen As a Man Thinketh, and I read those lines, and it says something like, your circumstances and your conditions are a product of you, so you got to change yourself. My life literally changed that day when I walked out my hotel room. Once I made that flip in my mind from that deep depression to the willingness to go do and flipping the situation, instead of saying, this is terrible, this is bad, God, why me? Why do I have to go through shit? It was just like, okay, what if this is growth? What if this is God pushing me to be better? And once I literally did that, I stopped giving a fuck what people thought. You have to stop giving a fuck what people think of you. And you don't just do that out of thin air. Most people will tell you, yeah, just stop giving a fuck. Just stop. You just have to drop it. How do you do that? You don't just stop randomly. It sounds good, but it don't work. What works is you have to go through life experiences. You have to go through pain, but most of y'all niggas is too afraid of that. You're too afraid of being hurt. You're too afraid of going through pain. You're so stuck in your comfort zone that you cannot expand your consciousness, because once you expand your consciousness and you start to really think, because now you're able to think, because your awareness is bigger, that's when you stop giving a fuck what people think, because now you can think for yourself. But you can't do that if you're in your comfort zone. So you got to start doing things that scare you. You got to start making decisions that people might say are stupid. You might have to go out and get your heart broke. You might have to date that girl, and if you have feelings for her and shit, that's okay, because you're at that stage to where you're having feelings for a girl. Allow yourself to fall in love. It's probably not gonna work out, but just allow it to happen, bro, and let that hurt grow you so you stop giving a fuck. If you want to move to that new city, move to that shit. Even if it don't work out, it most likely will, because it's not really that hard of a thing to do, bro. It's just picking up your life right now. You're doing the same thing in a new city or across the country, whatever you want to do. That experience is going to expand your consciousness, and you're going to stop giving a fuck about the stupid things you were giving a fuck about before. Now, for example, in Thailand, After this experience, when I went to Chiang Mai, I stopped giving a fuck, bro. I remember I rode my bike to the mall on the highway. It was like 10-15 miles in the 95-degree heat. Now imagine a light-skinned nigga in Thailand on the highway riding a bicycle to a mall. And the mall was on the other side of the highway. I don't even remember how I crossed the street, but I did it somehow. I don't even remember, bro. That shit crazy. But I didn't give a fuck what people thought. Or when I approached this group of girls from Toronto, later they invited me out to the bar. Then after that, they took me to the club, and it was like this EDM house club, and the girl that was trying to mess with me, she was dancing, and she was like, yeah, why don't you dance? I was like, I don't fuck with this shit. This ain't my type of shit. I'm gonna go back to the hotel. She just looked at me like, damn, this nigga don't give a fuck. This nigga honest. Because before, I would sit there and blame myself and say, oh, there's something wrong with me that I'm not dancing this. Like, that's not my type of shit, bro. That's not me. Because I know myself now. And I'm comfortable in my own skin. So she said, oh, okay, I wanna see you later tonight, though. I want to continue our night. I was like, okay, meet me back at my hotel. Finish up this quick, because you know I got to be up early in the morning. So she came through in like 30 minutes, bro. She left that club fast, bro, to get to the hotel. You know what happened after that. But to stop giving a fuck, I had to go through the lowest period of my life, the lowest point of my life. I had to go through the heartache, the pain, the struggle. So I'm telling you what worked for me. And I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, but the person who resonates with this message is going to work for you. You have to do hard things in your life. You have to do the things that are going to be uncomfortable, that you might fail, that might be a disaster. Because what's the point of living life if you're trying to be this perfect good boy all the time and you're trying to make every decision perfect? And by trying to avoid mistakes, you avoid living life. By trying to avoid failure, you avoid living life. By trying to avoid pain, you avoid living life. So the most simplest thing you can do is just go outside and run till you start feeling pain. It's going to be painful running up that hill. Like, I hate running, but I'm outside running. The route I run, bruh, there's like a mile uphill. And I do this shit purposely because I could avoid it. But I'm like, nah, bro, I got to go through this pain every day because that keeps me out of my comfort zone. And I hate doing it. I'm like, why the fuck am I running up this long ass hill? But I got to do it. And even a more recent example with my whole YouTube situation. So a couple years ago, I started a YouTube channel and it started to grow pretty quick. And I was growing like this super tight knit fan base and subscriber base, and it was cool. And everybody I would meet, like I would meet people in person, like everybody who would see it, they'll tell me like, yeah, bro, you going up, like yada, yada, yada. That didn't happen. Shit started to taper off. I went through some life shit. I kind of got unfocused. So things started to drop off. And that kind of hurt me at first. And I'm like, damn. Damn, bro. Something was stripped away from me that I thought that I was going to get. But once I flipped and reframed the situation, I was like, oh, what if this is actually the best thing that can happen to me? What if this is what I needed? What if this is going to make me more powerful than ever? And once I flipped that, I stopped giving a fuck even more. It's on a whole nother level. I literally don't give a fuck about a whole bunch of shit. I don't give a fuck about what nobody think. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I'm literally my own individual. Like, it's on a whole nother level. But you gotta go through things in life. You gotta date that girl and get your heart broken. You can't just skip levels. You can't just listen to the niggas online telling you not to do certain things when it's in your heart to do that. If you're the type of person that's falling in love with a girl, bro, just do it, bro, so that you can grow your consciousness to the point to where you're not doing that shit no more. Because I had to go through it. I had to get kicked out by a girl to grow my consciousness to that point. And that time, I stopped giving a fuck too. I was like, yeah, bro, let me just get 2 jobs. I'm working 7 days a week. I'm stacking my bread. I'm getting my credit right. I stopped giving a fuck about just childish shit after that, because I had to hustle. Because I've always been a hustler in my DNA and inside from a young kid. Like, I was selling gum in school. I was goddamn trying to play piano so that I could play at these churches, but my environment and my conditioning and the people around me basically conditioned that out of me. So I had to bring that back into my life. I had to start to own that shit. And I stopped caring what people think. Because people thought it was crazy I was working 2 jobs 7 days a week. But I had way more bread than all them niggas. People thought I was crazy to go to Thailand. But I elevated myself more than all them niggas. This is what I'm saying. Life is supposed to be painful. Life is supposed to have some hurt. You're supposed to get hurt. This is what is supposed to happen. It's not going to be the end of the world, I promise you. As long as you don't make it out to be bigger than what it is, it's going to be the best thing for you. But if you're avoiding these things that's going to actually evolve you, if you're avoiding making that job switch, if you're avoiding starting that business, if you're avoiding changing up your business a little bit, if you're avoiding making that YouTube channel and maybe failing, if you're avoiding moving to that new city, if you're avoiding messing with that girl that you really like, but your friends might say she's ugly or something, so you're not going to do it, then you're never going to grow. You're never going to evolve. You're going to stay in your comfort zone. You're going to stay a little bitch. You're going to stay caring what people think. And you're not going to get what you want. You're not even going to understand what you want, because you're not going to unlock your real soul, your real individuality, which is thinking for yourself, which is the thing that God gave you. Your own mind, your own thoughts. And you're not even going to be able to use it in this life because you're so afraid of failing and getting hurt. And you're afraid of discomfort. You're afraid of taking a cold shower. You're afraid of going to the gym because people might think something about you because you're not in super good shape. I'm gonna tell you, bro, in the gym, bro, 80% of the people, bro, they're not in good shape, bro. Like, most of the people in the gym don't look crazy. You're afraid of having rigorous workouts. Like, some of y'all just got these pussy ass workouts too, where you're just doing shit that's comfortable. It's like, if you're not sweating, if you're not actually pushing, if you're not actually feeling pain, what are you doing? You got to develop your mind. You got to develop your mental. You have to do some hard shit in your life. You got to move out your parents' crib. You got to go against the grain. Your parents might be telling you to go to college. You got to say, nah, I'm not doing that shit. I'm starting my business. Because if you do a business for 4 years and you invest the same, let's say 50K into your business that you would in college, you would get a lot farther as a person. So that's how you stop giving a fuck what people think. It's really not all that serious. I'm telling you from my life experience, from somebody that had super social anxiety, where I literally cared so much what strangers thought of me, I couldn't speak. I would have those NPC nice guy answers, and you all know where that gets you. That gets you in goddamn robot zone. That gets you in the safe zone where nobody forms an opinion of you. And you don't want to be there because you don't have a soul at that point. It's Zen Hustler, no slave. I'm out.